Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd show you something new I was working on. I decided I wanted to try another SV miner. This time maxing out the drills to 10 and trying to make it a little tougher. So I started with this, and the idea behind this was I was trying to make it so it was able to bore in the ground decently, and I was trying to protect some of the parts in here, and give it a lot of power and things like that too. A little bit bigger miner than the Merc recent one I just did. So I was messing with this body design, trying to figure it out and everything like this, and then I took it out to do some mining, and it gets stuck constantly. So I was like, I gotta lose like everything. I was trying to push these blocks so you could have like one row on the sides of the mining drills, and there's 10 in the formation here. So anyways, I started there. This didn't work it didn't work good at all. So next version here, I stripped away all that skirting and stuff like that up from it, trying to get it to work better. And it worked a little bit better. It still would get tripped up a little bit in holes, like mining tunnels and things like that. So I determined that maybe I should alter my drill setup a little bit, and some of the side blocks and front blocks, and I really didn't like the wings I had on the front there either. So the next iteration here is this one here. So I took these drills here and I moved them further out, and worked on the block work on the side some more and things like that. Trying to get things. I got the lights on this thing, like that. So it works a little bit better. So then I took that further, and now I've got this guy over here, which is the new miner. I don't know what to call it yet. TBM, I like that. That tunnel boring miner is what that stands for, or tunnel boring machine. Either way. But this is the latest version of it, and I got it basically textured. I'm trying to figure out exactly what to put in this thing yet, with shields and how much CPU I got. So like the inside is just kind of sitting here with some storage and stuff like that, and trying to figure out how much generators I'm going to need. Now one thing I can't do with this is really have an interior, because it's not that I don't necessarily physically have the space for an interior. It's the fact that all the parts are too hot, and I don't have enough room to possibly do that. So this area is kind of like a fill-in area, and I'll have to figure out how to assemble the insides and what parts it's going to have. Probably going to have shield capacitors and chargers and things like that, depending on how much CPU I've got left. Now right now on this version 2, I also got 4 plasma guns on here, but I don't know about that. Probably not. I'll probably need the CPU for other things. Now, a side effect to any of these, like a SV boring miner like this, that can actually do holes, and I'll demonstrate that in a second. There's a lot of playing around with these front drills, and how big the blocks were and everything like that to actually make this work properly. But yeah, the side effect with this, though, is the fact that I got all these turret positions, so you could put turrets on the side and a couple on the top and things like that. But if you do, you're going to get stuck in a mining hole. You can't go physically past the limits of the mining drills, and you also can't bring the mining drills out any further, or you'll get those little nubs when you're mining, and I didn't want that either. So basically, you just can't really add any blocks here. Like, these thrusters are just chilling here. I'd love to add some like trim and deco blocks and things, and put on some turrets and stuff like that, but you can't. Just can't do it. It's too limited in space on the range of these mining drills. But anyway, with all that being said, let's take this out some here. Let me get the HUD on here. I mean, I'll show you what this is currently costing. Although it's not done, it doesn't have all the parts in it yet. But so say we wanted to make a nice hole here through a mountain or something like that. doesn't really matter how you go about doing this. If you're a little bit patient, you gotta give the drills just enough time to fully clear out the area. But if you just kind of hold straight and don't try to go too fast. If you try to go too fast, you can still get kind of tripped up. But if you just kind of like keep on nudging forward, about like I am. I know that. Hold on a second. Do I have the lights on now? Let's turn on the spotlights here too. And it makes a nice, even tunnel. So I was happy about that, and it doesn't get tripped up on anything. Even though the landing gear is like retracted inside the vehicle, so you don't have that block slot there. Now maybe you could get by with some turrets on here, but all I know is if you get a little bit off or a little bit crooked or anything like that, those turrets will kind of slop you up, and you're not going to be able to. You'll be all like trying to get, go through this tunnel here and be like tripped up on one thing or the other thing or the other thing or whatnot. But basically, a little bit of constructive criticism on the recent Merc HGM, or the high gravity miner. That one cannot fit through mining holes and stuff like that. That one you have to do it a different way. So this one, I just basically wanted to be able to make a nice hole in the ground here. And actually, if we leave, you can kind of see that it actually does a pretty good job with all that. So, and I got a fair amount of weight in here right now. It does seem to be responding to weights and volumes. Hold on a second. What do I actually? I was doing some test mining with this, so I've got about 11K in here. Right now, it's got a 28K storage bay, and I was thinking I was going to call it at that. Another difference on this one too, well, not quite fully yet, but I think I will change it, is it doesn't have any exposed cargo containers on the hull. It's actually hardened steel, and it is tougher and more protected. And the idea would be to put in a bigger shield and maybe some chargers and things like that. And it's a little bit different miner. So this one is unlike the other one. Let me go fly over there a minute. I can do a little bit better comparing here. Where'd you go? There you are. So yeah, I got these three things over here. Tomorrow I'm probably going to be releasing something. Not this one. I don't think I'll quite have this one quite ready. Well, maybe it could be, but tomorrow I'll probably release this TCM, which is a Scarab. It's a HV cheap 6 drill miner / tree cutter with it's kind of like the Scarab STC, or the tree cutter, just bigger. It's got more storage, it's got more thrust power, and it also does mining. And it's got a couple more utility things on here, like a fridge. Not much though, very very limited. So like this one here, too wide to fit in a mining hole. So basically, you kind of just use the 6 drills and kind of go around and keep on kind of carving out an area. This one's kind of meant to not necessarily engage enemies, but to say there is a high value resource there. Well, it's got some shields. Well, it'll have some decent shield strength and stuff like that, and it can completely bore underground. So this one here, the idea would be to go, behind enemy lines, I guess you could say, or whatever. Just kind of ignore whatever's shooting at you and burrow yourself right into the ground so they can't shoot at you, and then do your business. So it's a different idea, different strategy between these two miners here. Again, the thing that kind of sucks with this one though is the fact that if I try to put on any kind of turrets or anything like that, you just can't do it. It's the drill radius on these things is just not good enough to pull that off, even if it's one block out. And that's why everything's really tight on the block work on this thing to keep it so it doesn't have that stuck problem. So basically, I don't know, I just had a bug up. I had a bug where I wanted to make another miner. You know, I made this one, then I realized, oh, you could have more mining drills, and oh, you could, more shields, and more this, and more that, and the other thing. So I thought I would try to make a higher end version, and it was supposed to be bigger. That's why it's called Big Miner, but it's really not that much bigger in the end because you can't. I guess it could technically be a little longer, but you can't make it any wider or taller, or you can't really do anything with that. And the interior problem too is, well, there's a shield, or I'm sorry, a warp core right above here, and doesn't have enough blocks. You know, there's only 3 blocks below that to keep you a safe distance away from the warp core. So if I try to add an interior and put in a floor here, you can't walk into it. And if I remove these blocks, then you're going to get fried by the warp core. And I don't have any other of the parts in here besides some generators right now either. So by the time you add in all these other hot parts and whatever else will cause you problems, fuel tanks, whatever, there's just no way you'd be able to like get in and out of it. So the idea of what I think I'm going to do here is try to set up a little display zone over here with utility parts right on the back, kind of on the ground. Maybe have a little door vent here that opens up or something like that, and then this will all be solid inside of here, full of, you know, generators and fuel tanks and shield things and all that kind of fun stuff in your CPU cores. I'll try to make the display back here as nice as possible though, but it's not going to have an interior. I'm not so sure about the glass, though. It's just you got a warp core behind here, and by using this armored glass, it would make it not compatible with vanilla again, but either with the generators or the CPU blocks or the shield capacitors or you name it. There's so many things now that will not make it compatible with vanilla that it's probably going to have to be like this one. It's going to have to be Reforged Eden only. Or Project Eden, Reforged Eden, both of them basically. So specs on this currently, which are kind of invalid because it's not done, and I'm not sure about those plasma guns, which are sucking up some CPU, but this is where it's at right now. On CPU stats, it's already got a 3-hour and 17-minute build time. Because of those plasma turrets on there, I believe I'm using a lot of extra estrium and zacosium, which it probably doesn't need. Or I said plasma turrets, I meant plasma launchers. I don't know how effective that would be anyway, because again, you're not really meant to be shooting things with this. You know, it'd be nice if I could slap on those turrets, and you know, you have that extra defense, plus, you know, hopefully a beefier shield system than what the HTM has. But yeah, it's been kind of rough. I was almost ready to abandon this after my early tests, where it's like, this works like crap. You know, that like earlier version I showed with all the extra blocks around this thing, trying to be protected. You know, when I was building it, and it just doesn't work out. So yeah, as in, you know, tough, you know, miner, with a lot of guns, you know, that can defend itself, you know, in a hostile place and can bore into the ground and be cool with that. I don't think it's possible. I don't necessarily think it's possible. How do you possibly put like turrets or something on here when you can't exceed the level of where the drills are? You just can't do that, or you get stuck in the hole, so then you couldn't mine underground. Or like this one does, like makes a borehole tunnel pretty decently. But yeah, I have no idea how you'd possibly pull that off. It was basically like some things, you know, it was brought up in comments on this one, was kind of inspired me to do this one. That this one, you know, obviously can't do it, and I was like, well, let's try to come up with a design that can bore in the ground. And then of course I tried the stuff, and it was like, nah, none of this works. It just doesn't work. If these things had a bigger radius when they drilled, it wouldn't be a problem. I could actually add turrets on here, but you just can't. You can't do that. You can't exceed the width of your mining drills. So, and yeah, you know, It'll be. I usually like to put interiors on a lot of things. Although this one here, I thought originally that I would have enough room for an interior and stuff like that, and then it's like, nah, I can't do it. It's I can't unless I expose the shield like I did on this one, or I'm sorry, the warp core like I did on this one. It has to be like it has to be part of the block, the top row of blocks on this, or it's not big enough to fit it and be able to walk under it. And that is the problem. But this will work out. This should allow it to be a little bit tougher, I think, in the end, where I can protect the interior parts better. It's just not going to have an interior, but like I said, on the back area, I've got some cutouts here where I could add parts. Whether you could have your basic O2 and your med bay maybe, and then you got this front wall here too. You could add a constructor or other things and put a door or something over the back of it. I don't know how else to go about this. Just can't work. Can't really make it taller. If you spread these drills out more than what they are, then you're going to have the nubs when you're mining, trying to do a borehole, and that doesn't work out either. So then it's kind of defeats the purpose of trying to be a boring type miner. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. This was a lot of R&D, just kind of messing around, coming up with a general idea of what I wanted to accomplish, and then watched it fail a few times and make several iterations of it to get it to work all right and actually test. This one wouldn't have like this one. I'm sorry. This guy over here had 32K storage. I'm thinking about running 28K with this one because it's heavier and it's got pretty much the same thrust power as the HGM. It's got a little bit more reverse thrusters on this. It's got 4 bigger ones on this one, but it has one less strafing thruster per side. So it's got more reverse power, a little less strafing power, same forward thrust, same lift thrust. It's got 4 of the larger thrusters down here too to get it in the air. So spec-wise, I think it'll be good. I'm not sure about the hull material of being hardened steel. That could be, I could switch it pretty easily to steel or something like that. I was trying to make this one a little tougher, but I think it's going to be mainly dependent on its shield setup and how much CPU that takes, and I don't know yet. I'm gonna start putting in chargers and capacitors, and I got to put in the main shield too, which is quite a bit of CPU. So I'll have to figure that out and what it'll let me do. But anyway, tomorrow's plan, I think I'm gonna try to get this out to the workshop. It shouldn't take that long. It's a pretty simple thing. You don't have to take 50 million pictures of it or anything like that. So pretty quick release, and then probably after that I should have this one done, so I'll try to get this to the workshop too. I guess right now with season 5, was it season 4? Season 4, I think, of on the Anvil server. I've been trying to put a lot of focus on making these things to do in-game function, like miners and like the storage CV or the micro CV that was slapped together, stuff like that. So just utility stuff. I thought a little bit about another starter base, but man, I built quite a few of those, and I don't necessarily know if I need another one. None of the starter bases I built are very tough. They usually have solar panels for a ceiling, which maybe not the best idea, but I do like to use solar if possible, stuff like that. Oh, I must have the time of day on here. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show today, is just kind of talk about this, and I don't know if other people had problems with this too. I guess it's a tall order to build a tough, high-end, high-gravity miner with guns that can bore in the ground. It sounds like it's not that rough until you try it. and then you realize how picky it is, and then it's just like, how do you possibly put turrets on something when you can't go past the limit of where the drill is, and then the turret You know, if I did put a turret on here, you know, I would have to like sink it down to where the warp core is, or you know, like one block on top of the warp core and not seal off the warp core, and it would only be able to shoot backwards, and that's really the only way I can pull it off, or put like maybe a couple side mount, like sideways turrets on the very back here in this section. I thought about it actually, and maybe it could have some practical function, like if you slam into a mining hole really quick, um, nothing's really going to be shooting at you from the front side, but you know, maybe if some bad guys jumped in the hole behind you, you could have some turrets on the back that could shoot them. You know, best guess, but yeah, I don't know. Just curious on your thoughts on this. I was just basically, I had the objective of building a higher end miner that could do, you know, obviously burrow into the ground and be cool with that. And then I ran into the problem that it's so tight on the tolerances of the mining drills that you can't actually add turrets to a device like that. So different can of worms. This could have its use. So it's especially it can get through the ground pretty good. You can make pretty good distance in mining holes fairly quickly. I'm not sure where my mining hole is anymore, but I've tested it quite a few times, and it makes a really nice hole, a tunnel, if you just kind of push it straight. If you try to go a little too fast, though, you'll get a little bit of the nubbing action. So you just kind of slow down just a little bit, press forward a little bit, let the drills do their business, and then just keep on moving forward. But you just can't do it at full speed. Is the whole deal. Anyway, that's all I've got for today, and I'll probably release that TCM tomorrow, and who knows what I'll show next time. I got a little more to do on that Creel space station too, so I'm kind of all over the board right now. I'm kind of with projects, but again, focus on useful things for the next season of Reforged Eden server play. So anyway, y'all have yourself a great day. I'll talk to you later.